This example is going to show you how to factor some more difficult quadratic expressions like this one right here. The first thing students should do when they look at this is figure out what this thing is generally going to look like here. And what this means is that I know I've got to have x's here. I know I'm going to have something here that multiplies to equal minus 28. The fact that this is a minus sign and this is a minus sign tells me these signs are mixed. And so I believe I'm going to have a minus sign here and a plus sign here, because the only way to get a minus sign here is if you have a plus and minus in one of each in each factor here. So one's got to be plus, one's got to be minus. We have an a value here that is not equal to 1, so this problem makes it a little bit more difficult. Of course, b is minus 45, as you can see here. Okay, and c, of course, is minus 28. Okay, the good thing about this a, though, is that there's no other factors that'll multiply here. My coefficients of x can only be 7 and 1. Now, I could put it in either place. I'm going to put it here for a very good reason, okay, because when I multiply by the minus sign, which I've chosen to put here, I think I'm going to get a bigger negative number when I multiply these two together, because my b is negative, and I'm going to have a big negative number. Okay, now this might seem intimidating at the beginning, but when problems look difficult, you've got to be very methodical. Remember, we said let's focus on a times c, which is 7 times minus 28. These are some big numbers. Use your calculator, but ac in this case equals the large number of minus 196. Okay, so here's what I'm looking to do next. I'm looking for these factors here that will multiply and get me a minus 28. Or more correctly, I'm going to look for numbers that multiply and give me a 196, because whatever these two numbers are, I've got that 7 multiplied in there specifically for this factor here. Okay, so I'm going to just start factoring 196, starting with 196 and 1. But I'm also looking for whether or not these things add up to give me a plus. When I add them up, will they give me a minus 45? Okay, and I don't see that just yet. 196 and 1. Now I'm going to make one of these a plus and one of these a minus, but no matter how I slice it, 196 minus 1 or 196 plus 1, I'm not going to get a 45 out of that, or negative 45. So let's try again. Let's divide it by 2. 196 and 2 gives me 98. And yes, use a calculator if you're not comfortable with that. Can I add 2 to 98 or subtract 2 from 98 and get anywhere close to a 45? The answer is no, I cannot. So these two factors aren't going to work. So what's next? Will 3 go into that? Looks like 3 might. 3 goes into that. 196 divided by 3, I'd get a 6 with 1 left over. 3 won't go into it. Numbers that are divisible by 3, all the digits add up to a number that's divisible by 3. So 9 and 1 is 10, 10 and 6 is 16, 6 and 1 and the 16 equals 7. This is not divisible by 3, so I got to go to my next number, which is 4. 196 divided by 4 happens to be 49. And now we see something. I'm looking for a minus 45. If this was a minus and this was a plus, notice that these two numbers multiply to give me the 196 I'm looking for, or the negative 196, and minus 49 plus 4, in fact, gives me minus 45. So if you're very methodical, start looking at your prime factors. 1 times 196, 2 times 98, 4 times 49. Eventually, you will see a solution that gives you this b value here. Now, the question is, what do I do next? Okay, there's different methods of doing this. Okay, we have tried to look at a box like this, where you simply say, I know I'm going to have a 7x squared in here, which is going to come from a 7x and an x. Okay, now I've decided that over here, I think I'm going to have my negative 49, but the 7's already baked in here, so this is probably going to be a 7. So I get that 7 times 7x will give me my minus 49x. The 4 could go here and give me my plus 4x. That's where I'm going to get the minus 45. Plus 4x minus 49x gives me a minus 45x, which is in my question, in my problem here. Okay, so what's this look like? If I put a 7 here, 7 times 7x is going to give me a 49x. It's got to be negative, so I'm going to put the negative there. All right, what else do I need? I need a 4x. I know I have to have a minus 28 for my constant. So how am I going to get a minus 28 over here? So minus 28 divided by minus 7, I've got to have a plus 4 over here. What's 4 times x? Plus 4x. So here are my two factors, x minus 7 and 7x plus 4. Well, isn't that what we just wrote up here? It is. So we figured it out, but the whole key was working with these prime numbers here. I know this is all messy now, but rewind the video if you have trouble with that. But this should work. If I do a FOIL of this, I'm going to get 7x squared outside. I'm going to get, oops, I'm going to get a minus 49x. The 7 times the 7 gives me the 49. Don't forget the x there. Now I do the inside, plus 4x. Do the outside, minus 7 times plus 4, and I get a minus 28. There's my answer, because this plus this actually gives me the original polynomial. 49 plus 4, I'm sorry, minus 49 plus 4 gives me a 45x minus 28. That's how this works. My answer checks. So your answer is this here. We don't have to solve it beyond that. Okay, I hope that helps. And there you go.